Come one, come all. Welcome back to Chiowa. We are still back, and we are at episode 67. As always, I am Michael Olson alongside my good buddy, Michael Stampa. How we doing, my man?
Pretty good. We are still back. We'll always still be back as long as we continue to push forward, right?
Yeah, hey, we're back for the second week in a row. We got 2 episodes recorded. Well, soon to be 2 episodes recorded, and hey, maybe we'll hit 3 one day.
Maybe we'll hit 3. We'll have our comeback part 3 again.
Yeah, I don't think you can call it a
Back
comeback
vengeance.
until there's at least 3 in a row, because 2 is, anybody can do 2. We'll see about 3.
I think that's fair. So, how you doing, buddy? How was your last weekish of running?
Weekish of running was much needed.
Okay.
After, we're recording this a little bit in advance, but we just had, the Thanksgiving holiday. This is probably going to come out in a couple weeks. And my, oh my, was I a piece of shit. So
yes.
I think I looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy, like at least a little more than usual. So It was much needed to get back out on the 606 trail for me to get some miles. And it's okay. My standard week right now, since I'm not training for anything, is not impressive. It's very little. It's like 30-something miles is where I'm kind of sitting at. So got my little routine and running during the lunch hour of work for, a 10K or something, and then maybe getting in a long run over the weekend, but nothing crazy, but enjoying it. So it was good. How was your first week back after the first of many holidays to come?
Oh, I can relate completely. Oh, hold on.
I also drank way too much. And as I say that, I'm about to crack open another beer, but drank way too much, ate way too much, typical
What are you drinking?
holiday shit.
What are you drinking?
It's not very good, to be honest. I just got it at...
What is it? That's not the answer. You answered a question I didn't ask.
Suspense, Michael. I just walked over to the lovely Bucktown Liquors, across the street from me, and I am now drinking. Well, let me 1 second. A Noon Whistle brewery. It's Noon Whistle. It's a Cosmo Pale Ale.
Okay, what's wrong with it?
If you're watching it, when we put this out on YouTube, it's not a very attractive can, but it was something I hadn't drank before. It's from Lombard. That's where Noon Whistle is. Fun fact about Lombard, that's where I lived for the first years of my life.
Oh,
remember it
interesting.
fondly. Yep, from the time I was 1 day old until the time I was 2 years old.
Don't believe you.
Don't remember much of that time. But yep, it's from Lombard. It's an okay. For those of you who have like the 5-point rating, I gave it like a 3.25. So don't go out of your way for the Noon Whistle Cosmo Pale Ale. But hey, it is what it is. Sometimes
what's
you
wrong
gotta
with
support
it?
local business.
So what's wrong with it?
Just basic. Just tastes like any old IPA. Yeah.
Nothing great, nothing to write home about.
It's one of those things where I'm not upset that I'm drinking it, but it's not going to be like, I'm not going to go back to the store.
But you actively purchased it. Did you know that you were going to not enjoy it when you bought it?
I mean, that's a ridiculous question.
But well, you bought it.
If I knew if it was going to be terrible?
I don't know. Maybe.
Absolutely not.
You really set the bar low
packaging.
going into it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to drink piss, I would have
enough.
got like Natty Light or something. I was like, I don't want to enjoy my beer tonight. Let me get like, Natty Ice or Mickey's. You ever had a Mickey's?
I don't know if I've had a Mickey's before.
Like, it comes in grenades. They're called grenades, like little stubby bottles.
I mean, I've had beers in little stubby bottles before.
Yeah, you'd remember if you had a Mickey's. It's terrible. You'd remember if you had a Mickey's. Yeah, Coors Banquet's great packaging, though.
It's fantastic. I love those little squat bottles with the tiny holes.
Oh, they're great. And they're perfect for the outdoors, too. Kind of makes you feel like you're, even if you're not in the mountains, like you kind of have a split second. You're like, I could be out in the Rockies right now.
You could be sitting in the middle of Des Moines, Iowa, or Chicago, Illinois, and be like, "Wow, am I sitting at 18,000 feet right now?"
Yeah, I'm not mistaken where I am with this Noon Whistle. So if that says anything, don't get it. But hey, happy to be drinking a beer and podcasting with my buddy.
Well, good. I love it. So my last week of running was fine. Kind of fine. Complaint that I have today. So I got new shoes, relatively new to me, about a week ago.
What kind of shoes, Michael?
These are Ultra Escalante 2.0,
Stunning.
some flat boys. Yeah, you're not surprised, are you? This is my first pair of 2.0s. I think I've had 5 or 6 pair of 1.5s. I loved them. They're great. I couldn't find them anywhere online. I didn't look that hard, but I figured I'd give the 2.0s a shot. They're still 0 drop. They still have the wide toe box. They still have relatively minimal support. Not support, but like cushion underneath, which is what I like. But I got the gray pair. They're going super well. The problem is they are not yet broken in. So, well, what's so funny?
I'm just looking at it. I just got a Strava notification, and I just saw you commented on our friend Cole's run from 2017. How the fuck did you find that?
I pulled up Strava, like I said right before. I pulled up Strava, and it said follow Cole Rush. So I clicked on him, and I noticed his last activity was from 2017. And I noticed we both had already commented on it, but I just commented on it again. It's going to become an annual thing.
Yeah, his caption was only 2 pee breaks on this run,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we were training for the Drake half marathon we
half.
ran as a group.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was a great time.
I was wearing that like pullover today on my run.
Oh, really?
Yep, got a
The
lot of compliments.
was that the did you?
No, I got 0.
Okay, I believe it. Nice. I
also have
like,
my
what?
headphones in.
It's like they're not that great, are they?
No, they're really not. They're one of those
The fleece,
cheap
they're the
ones.
light,
That,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's perfect for like a day like today.
Yep,
And
it's
not
45
gonna lie,
degrees on my run, long sleeve
Yep.
shirt, pullover, perfect.
Yep. I wore it today on my run as well, but
Hmm.
I'll eventually get back to the story that I was telling before you interrupted me
My
with
bad.
the news about peeing, basically, which is what you were saying. I'm just giving you shit, obviously. Anyway, my shoes aren't broken in. I keep them out in the breezeway, so it's kind of chilly. So when I went out to run, I had a little blister on the back of my ankle, and the shoe was rubbing against the blister. So I got a half a block in, and I turned around. I was like, nah, not worth it. Not gonna break it open.
Was it that were you wearing like low cut socks, or is it just the shoe? You think?
I wore low cut socks like the second or third time I wore them, and they're still stiff. So that's just been, I've been wearing high socks. I wore higher socks today, but for some reason today it just a little bit more painful.
Yeah.
So that was my complaint about my new shoes that I do like anyway.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Do you, and it's maybe a good Twitter poll or something, or an Instagram poll or something, whatever.
Or both.
Yeah, or both.
Never
Let's
know.
get crazy with it. Do you think more people are, and maybe it's they struggle to find a good running shoe, but do you think, and I know the answer for both of us, but do you think more people will find one model and one brand, one model of shoe and wear that for like forever? Because like for me, I'm on the Bondi 6.
Well, you're on Hoka. You're Hoka. You're Hoka for life now.
Like if you look at my gear, my Strava profile, it's all Hoka. Trail Hokas.
I do that sometimes. Look at other people's gear.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're nerds, and that's what you do when you are a running nerd.
Actually, though, I see what people are like wearing.
I wasn't joking. I do the same thing. But anyways, this is like my 5th pair of Bondi 6s, and I'm almost through this pair, and I'll get another pair as soon as these are shot. And I absolutely love the fucking Bondi. So I know you've had a bunch of Elantras, and you're probably gonna keep buying them until they
Elantra.
What's it called?
It's not a Hyundai.
Yeah, it's true. I'm a thick boy. I'm not a flat boy.
They're Ultra Escalante. So you kind of combine the Escalante and the Ultra Elantra.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what? There was a Elantra going by my window below me.
Okay, we'll believe
that's not true. But there's a beautiful moon in Chicago today. If you see my eyes darting out of the window here, it's just a beautiful full moon tonight. Well, not really full moon, but very bright.
I can't see the moon from my basement dwelling.
Well,
that window, you can't see anything.
Congrats on bragging about having a house. I have a small apartment.
It's a basement. Nah, that's okay, but you live in Chicago, so it's all fair. Anyway, to answer your question that you asked, I feel like people who are more runners consider themselves runners. People who do it consistently find a pair or a model or at least a style and will stick with it. Like right now I'm on Ultra because I like it.
Yeah.
I tested it and it worked well. The wide shoebox works really well for me. I like the zero drop, and I don't like to have a ton of cushion, so I'll probably stick with it. But I'm not against exploring other options, but that works for me now. Now, before I consider myself a runner, when I would run really just for exercise or do it intermittently to warm up before or after lifting sessions or whatever, I would just get a pair that was comfortable. So before I was on my Ultra kick, I had some of those Reebok Freestyles that I liked a lot. I think I might have had a pair of Nike Pegasus or whatever predated the Pegasus, like a long time ago.
I swear, like I feel like 95% of people I see running are wearing Pegasus.
Yeah, and I'm sure that I bought it just at a store on my own. Yeah, I don't know if it was Pegasus. I don't know if the Pegasus model was around, but it was like a Nike type shoe. I also had a pair of Brooks running shoes that I liked a lot that I wore in Chicago. But yeah, once I got my first pair of Ultras, that's where I am.
Is it the number one thing you think that you recommend for a new runner? Get fitted for proper
absolutely.
Running shoes? I think
without a doubt. I think that go to a place, and both of us have gotten fitted before, and both of us found our
biggest changed my life.
Yeah, go to a place that will. A lot of places now can analyze your gait, can record you running down the hallway. They might record you from multiple angles, and they can combine that with your existing preferences or what you think you might want in order to try to fit you for a shoe that works well. Like for me, I run, but before I got my Ultras, I relearned kind of how to run. So when
Yeah.
I run and I strike with the ball of my foot. I don't know, like this part of my foot.
Yep.
So I didn't need a shoe that needed to, I don't want to say correct, but that had extra cushion in the back because I didn't strike with my heel. I never really have.
Yeah.
So that's what, and I've always liked the flat shoes, zero drop type feel. So they recommended these ultras, and I was like, yeah, these are great. And then the wide toe box just helps because I have fat toes, so they would a lot of times rub up against the end of my shoe. So
Yep.
having that extra toe box eliminates a lot of blisters or stops a lot of blisters from forming.
And I think that's a perfect example because we both run a fair amount, but I couldn't be more different. Like I'm a heel striker, so I needed and I always thought like I have my knees hurt, like my shins hurt, like I'm just not a runner. So I remember running like
Like
2
I
miles.
just can't do it.
I just can't do it. Yeah, exactly. And I finally, got fitted for proper running shoes. And they're like, "Do you know that you like heel strike pretty significantly?" I was like, "I don't even know what that means. Like, what is
So
that?"
what do you mean? What do you mean? I have a heel?
Yeah, exactly. So like that, it's like, oh, I'm like hitting the ground with my heel first. You're gonna want a little more uh support. So he's like, give these a try. If you don't like them, bring them back. And I think the first one I wore was the Hoka Conquest 2s, and I haven't turned back. I have not worn a different running shoe in 3 or 4 years or however long it's been. And I will, I never would have known that if I had got my gait analyzed and if I continued to wear my Nike Freeze or whatever I was, running in, and never in a million years would have, got to the point where I'm enjoying and I love running. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is what I always, when someone says they're not a runner, I'm like, if that's the case, no worries. But if you ever like want to try it again because you got shin splints or your knees hurt, go get fitted for shoes, and you might find that that was the key to everything.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy how much of a difference it can make just to be in something that's comfortable, be in something that works and that plays to your strengths or plays to your weaknesses
totally.
or whatever, or can help accommodate any weaknesses you might have.
Yep. I mean, Lord knows I have plenty of weaknesses.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they help
yeah,
mask some of the big ones at least,
yeah,
and allow me to run for a little bit without looking too
yeah.
janky.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you. Have
Okay.
you explored any new areas of Chicago since you've been around?
I mean, I've gone down to like the lakefront and stuff, and whatnot, and I've done that before I even like moved here. But
Yeah.
for me right now, it's been
I
more
know
just
it's
about what's that?
I was gonna say, I know it's tough right now, especially because you have the 606 so close to you, because of the entire COVID situation. You don't want to go drive somewhere to another neighborhood and
Right.
park and run around there. I don't know. I don't know if you're comfortable or not, but taking the subways, a huge toss up right now. Taking buses is a toss up.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing too, is that I've basically left my car still, and I would love to take public transit, but I haven't been because of,
because of
the COVID, right? So I've been kind of running close, and the lakefront's not far; it's like 3 miles from my apartment, but
okay,
the
but still
606
to
is
get
a
to
quarter
get
mile.
few 3 miles to the lake. If you want to get any decent run on the lake, you're probably going to run at least 1 to 3 miles on it.
Right.
And, that's an hour and a half dedicated minimum.
Right.
For it
Yeah.
to make it worth it, quote unquote
Right.
worth
Yeah.
it.
And that's something I need to do more of is explore the neighborhoods on foot and kind of not get lost, but kind of explore and let my feet kind of do the tour, be the tour guide. So that's definitely
Yep.
on the to-do list. I want to get out to the trails around here. Been talking to Dan, who actually lives. I'm not sure if you knew that. Dan Carlson lives like right behind me.
Oh, really?
And we've been running quite a bit. Not
Oh,
quite a bit,
nice.
but a handful of times together, and kind of using him as a guide, so to speak, to recommend new routes for me to go. And it's certainly something I need to do a better job of since I've been here. But yeah,
Good
it's on the
deal.
to-do list, no doubt.
Good deal.
But yeah, not being able to use public transit to go take it to the lakefront to run 10 miles up and 10 miles back is something hopefully in early 2021 we'll be able to do a little more of.
Right. Or even like, so when I lived in Chicago I lived in there for a summer and then a year. When I lived there for a long term in Little Italy, I would run almost the same 2 routes. I
Yeah.
would run to and around the Jordan statue, and it would be like exactly 3 miles. And then I would run up and do like a 4.5 mile loop that took me not to the lakefront, but just a different square.
Yep.
But when I lived in Wrigleyville or Lakeview, technically, I was only a half mile or so from the lakefront path, maybe a little bit more. So every single run was head down Belmont to the lake and then run south down the lake as far as I wanted to go halfway,
Yep.
and then turn around and come back. And I remember one morning specifically, it's when I was interning, and I was really set on, for whatever reason, getting up early and running so I could see the sunrise. I don't know why. It was just
Ooh,
something
that's
that sounded
nice.
really cool. And I did it once, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got, it was probably a 5-ish mile run. I ran to the end of a pier, and the sun had already risen. Obviously, it was the summer. So, getting out there at 5:30 or so, the sun's kind of already up or starting to peek over. But it was beautiful. I loved it. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the morning. Had a great day afterwards, and never did it again for no reason other than I sleep through things. I sleep in
I've
pretty
never noticed
often.
that before.
Oh, you haven't? No.
No.
I sleep until the almost absolute last second. It's crazy. I hate it. I wish I would just get up and enjoy things, but I don't. Anyway, I love that. So
Yeah.
highly recommend.
Nice.
That story wasn't going anywhere. I just thought of it.
Well, that's okay. I mean, that's kind of where, I mean, literally we have 6 bullet points on our
Hey, we're
thing,
more
and
planned out
I'm
than
not
that.
sure how long we're in right now, but we've gotten to one of my
16
bullet points,
minutes.
and that was for me to
Perfect.
say we're still back, we're still here. So
Me too. I've gotten to 2 bullet points.
literally that's what we do. We just
I
ramble
know.
and see where it goes. But I
And
do have
yeah, you go.
one question that's not running based. If you want
Okay.
to switch
And then
topics,
I have one that's not running base too.
okay.
Okay, you go.
I know I had a very 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 original post on Instagram the other day. My story was my Spotify year in review. I was the
Absolutely,
only
it
person
was.
to post that on Instagram or social media. Nobody
Yeah.
else definitely did.
No.
Obviously joking. Everybody and their mother posted what their top 5 artists were of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hear what yours were. And I
Okay.
know you already saw. I know you sent it to me, but I don't remember what they were. I know one of
Okay.
them was Greta Van Fleet, and I think maybe
Yep.
one was Foo Fighters.
I'll
But I
tell
want
you.
to hear about the other ones. And were you surprised by any of them?
Okay. So, if you can't tell, I'm going through it now. Let's turn that off. Share. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, I'm not actually sorry. Messages. Okay. So yes, I did. I do have it. Fuck. Cancel. Okay, I'm
I
just
know you
gonna have
sent
to
it to me
turn
on
the sound off.
Instagram.
I know I did. And now it's like running on the story, but I'm gonna just press and hold down. Okay, so my Spotify year in review, my top artists, and I'll read it first and then I'll tell you if I'm surprised or not.
Okay.
Number 1 was Foo Fighters, 2 was Red Hot Chili Peppers, 3 was Billie Eilish, 4 Greta Van Fleet, and 5 was Zach Brown Band.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Was any of that surprising to you or not really?
No. The one that I wouldn't have put on there was Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
But thinking back on this year, after seeing that, it completely makes sense. And I'll kind of explain why. My minutes listened was just over 30,000, and my top genre was rock. Now, here's why it's not surprising looking back on the year. The year started out normal. We had 2.5 months of basic normalcy before things kind of shut down.
Yep.
And then we were locked down and we were home, and everybody was home for an extended period of time. A lot of people are still basically homebound. But during that time, my wife and I decided to do some work on our house. So we have
we did a lot.
We did a lot of work on our house, on the exterior, not on the house itself, but on some other structures around the house. We built a retaining wall. It's like a 64, 65-ish foot retaining wall that bends around this corner in front of our house, in front of a hill.
It's a nice wall, folks. It's a
pretty nice wall. I'm a big fan of it.
You're doing was hot out too. It was hot.
It was hot. It was cool and comfortable when we started. We started in April-ish. I think we started in late April.
Maybe it was the deck or something.
Yeah, the deck was fucking hot. It was hot during the deck. We started the wall in like late April, and then we probably put in 6 good weekends of work. And I think it took about 8 or 9 weeks to finish it, just because there were times where we stopped. We had to wait for rocks or bricks or dirt to come in, like that we had to order to backfill on the wall. Anyway, so big wall. But during the time, like whenever we were out there digging or building the wall or leveling everything,
holes.
digging.
Was that one of your top songs?
No, it wasn't.
Theme song?
No, it wasn't. But that was a good question, though.
Missed opportunity.
I know it was.
Stanley Yelnats the third?
He's the fourth. He's the fourth.
Do you know the reason why is just Stanley backwards?
I did. I read holes also. Do you have any other holes related questions you want to ask?
Do you ever think it's weird that they would call his name is Mr. Sir?
No, because it's a book.
I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I did think that. I think that the Holes adaptation was one of the best adaptations that from a book to a movie that
I
I can
also have one other
recall.
thing I think is weird. How in the fuck were the peaches still good to eat?
I don't know.
Remember in the they were like the
Sam.
the sunken boat, like it was
Uh-huh.
they were like 100 years old. Like, how was it just not like
Mm,
how are they
I don't
still
know.
edible? It makes no
If you're
sense.
if
And
you're a
I've always
scientist, if you're a food scientist listening,
I've
please
I've,
let us
I've
know.
always it's always bothered me.
I don't know.
Should have he probably should have died.
Maybe they were preserved. Maybe there was some natural preservative. Maybe they
Maybe
were pickled.
may
Do
pick
pickled peaches last longer? But why would you put peaches in vinegar?
I think they because you were just yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know.
back to
Anyway,
back to the
back to
deck.
yeah, no retaining wall. But retaining, we built a retaining wall. We built the deck, and the entire time that we were out there, we had music on, and I had to control the music 90% of the time. And I would rotate between Foo Fighters and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Greta Van Fleet and Zach Brown Band,
That makes
and
sense.
that's why. Now I also do listen to Foo Fighters and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Greta Van Fleet a lot, one off, but not so much Zach Brown Band.
Do you typically like when you use Spotify, do you just like search for the specific band and then use it, or do you utilize Spotify more to like listen to like a playlist and like discover new artists? Is it a mix of both? It looks like you kind of just like you have your
Yeah,
top number of favorite bands you just continue to listen to over and over again. Is that
yeah.
what you use Spotify for?
I use Spotify as like a bank of songs and bands that I'm familiar with. I don't really use the discover feature very much. I
Ooh,
wish that I did. I do. I used to create playlists and then add artists like discographies to it.
yeah,
But now you can just follow artists and they basically have that. So I follow the playlist and I add it to like my collection,
right.
so that if and when new music comes out, like for Foo Fighters or for Billie Eilish or whatever, then that's automatically added and I automatically get it. But yeah, my Spotify, if you were to look at it, it's pretty sad in terms of quantity because I could have a lot more directly at my disposal than I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
So do you use the Discover stuff?
Oh, I use it like so much.
Oh
And I
really?
think that is like it is like I think I had like 1,200 new like artists discovered for like
Twelve
my
hundred?
yeah. It was
I
like
had like 120.
yeah, it was a shitload. Or maybe it was I don't know. It was in the
A
thousands,
lot.
thousand
Okay.
something. So yeah, that is like my favorite feature of Spotify. And I think I use it more to like discover new
Yeah.
music than just to continue to listen to music that I already
Yeah.
like. Which obviously there's no right or wrong way to use it, but
Right. But I
um,
think I'm missing out on that feature because I never had that really at my disposal. I mean, you could get recommendations from iTunes and stuff based on what you listen to,
right.
but I feel like I don't grasp it enough. But I also if I'm listening to music, it's because I'm on a run most likely, and
Yep.
I have playlists crafted to runs already, and I like to know that I'm going to enjoy listening to something, or I'm working. That's most of the time that I'm listening to music.
Yep.
I don't listen to music in the car very often. I'm usually listening to podcasts. And if I'm working, then I don't want to be paying attention to the music. I want to be able to just play it and have it be something that I'm familiar with
Yeah.
and throw it in the background.
Yep. That makes
So
sense.
that's, yeah, but the Discover, I wish I would use it more. Do you
Yeah.
feel like does it do a good job?
Yeah. I
Do you
mean,
think?
it's stupid how good it is. Like I feel like
Okay.
I've majority of my music that was on like my well not majority but a couple of them that were on there like I didn't listen to them really at
For this
all
year?
or like certainly not as much as I did this year. That came from like my discover or my recommendeds or whatever. So yeah, I loved that, and I feel like it's impacted like I listen to my daily mix all the time. It like takes similar music to like what you like and kind of throws it in there, and I feel like that's totally impacted and changed the way like I utilize Spotify and like how I discover new music. And I feel like it's opened my eyes to different genres and stuff. So yeah, um, I
So
fucking
you would recommend it?
love the Discover. Yeah,
Okay.
application on there.
Maybe I'll have to start using it a little bit more frequently.
Yep, would definitely recommend it.
Yep. So what were your top bands, and then we can go through songs.
Okay. I even like have my songs up. I can look. My songs
Gotta
my
get them.
songs are weird. Like I think that's more like influenced probably by like running playlists and stuff. But anyways, my top five, and probably people won't know a couple of these, but my number one, and it was Judah and the Lion. Do you familiar with Judah and the Lion?
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
Um,
They're actually, I think, sorry, go on.
that was a nice voice crack by me. Like I'm 13 years old again. The second one's a small little rock duo band called the Bluestones that I actually saw at what's that little venue in Des Moines that's on Court Avenue? I think it's dead now.
No,
I think
the
COVID
little
killed it.
venue in Des Moines. No, you're
Vaudeville
talking about
Muse?
what?
Vaudeville Muse? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, super small, but they're great. I love them. So the Bluestones, the Mowgli's, who are awesome. I feel like they're
Okay.
not very popular, but their music's awesome. If anyone likes Judah and the Lion or like that folk pop genre, they're great. Taylor Swift was on my top 5, which I was kind of surprised by. If you
Hey,
would have asked me like 7 years
don't
ago, I
hate
would have
it.
been like, absolutely, because I thought I was going to marry her, and I'm still convinced that if I get in a room with her for 15 minutes, we'll probably get married. So maybe it's my subconscious, like still, keeping her in the back of my mind.
Mhm.
And then my 5th was Mr. Wives, who's
Okay.
actually I saw in Des Moines as well.
Okay.
Who were great. So those are my top 5. Are you familiar with obviously Taylor Swift, but are you in Judah and the Lion? Do you know the Bluestones, the Mowgli's, or the Mr. Wives?
I've heard of the Mowgli's and I've heard of Mr. Wives. I've never heard of the
Okay.
Bluestones. I
Yeah,
think you've
I wouldn't
actually have
expect.
talked about them before. Like
I saw them with Kyle and Ashley.
Okay, that sounds like before you left, before you moved.
No,
Obviously.
when I was moved. I had moved. Yeah,
but like earlier, was it earlier this year?
I think it was in like January or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cold as fuck. I don't know that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So
which is almost a year ago, which is nuts.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So Judah and the Lion, one of their I think I went to college with the guy, like their manager.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
At Drake?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I think, or some other sort of contact.
Nice.
I'm looking him up now, and it looks like he manages Judah and the Lion.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
They're
I don't know when this
dope.
was updated yet, most recently, but yeah, I mean, it looks like he is. He's got stuff from 2019 on there, so
yeah, and their most recent album was last year, I think.
Okay.
I guess like their 2019 was Pep Talks, which is big, and then they had like an unplugged version. But
okay,
Pep Talk is awesome, and the album cover is dope.
Drew Holcomb and whatever, pretty dope. No, that's cool.
Anyways, yeah. So those, if anyone's looking for new music, those are 5, or well, everyone knows Taylor Swift, but 4 great options if you're looking for some new folks to listen to.
Yeah. So what were your top songs? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can pull it up. Nate commented on it, so I have it right here.
Okay.
Actually, one by Mike Posner, who I was like really into.
You know why? It's because he's the ultra guy now. Or you were into his walk, weren't you?
Yeah, he was doing his walk and like releasing new music, and now he's big into climbing.
Yeah, was it cooler than you?
Oh, I mean, that doesn't take very much. Obviously,
no,
the song. Right. Yes, correct.
Okay.
I thought you were just saying he was cooler than me. Like, yeah, obviously. It's called "Move On." It's a really good song, but just like whatever. I was hooked on it for like a month, so I listened to it a shitload, and then I hadn't listened to it in like 10 months, but I listened to it like twice yesterday on my run. Grim, which is about the Bluestones. Reflection by Mr. Wives, and then like a couple random like Kanye West song, and then I forget it's Coming Home by some rap group that's like on a playlist that I have.
Is that running playlist probably?
Yeah, exactly. They just got rotated over and over again. So only really like 2 that I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Other ones are just from playlists.
Yep. So my top 5, and I'll explain this, were all Billie Eilish songs.
Big Billie guy.
I know. I like Billie Eilish. I didn't know anything about her until probably a year and a half ago. And I gave her a listen because someone was like, you should really like check her out. And I did. And I was like, oh wow, she actually is really good.
Oh damn.
Beautiful voice. But she's another person who I listen to when I work. And I just throw it on. I throw on the playlist, and it's the first playlist that I go to if I have like an hour where I just need to knock some stuff out. So my top songs are Everything I Wanted, All the Good Girls Go to Hell, Bad Guy, Zanny, and When the Party's Over. And that's because that's the 1 through 5 in order of the songs on the playlist that I have. I think that my top listened to song, Everything I Wanted, I listened to 93 times this year. And I don't know if that's a lot or not a lot, but that's about correct. That's about once every 2 working days.
Are you sorry to interrupt you. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you play your playlist, are you a like start from the top and go straight down, or do you press shuffle?
If I am listening to an album, I go straight through because that's the way that it was designed.
Yeah.
And if the artist, and I very actively believe that if the artist intended it to be in a different order, they would have put it in a different order.
Yeah.
But if I have a playlist with multiple albums and I'm not just listening through the albums, or a playlist of jumble of songs, then I'll usually do random unless
Yeah.
I have a reason not to. And I'll go through and queue up songs and stuff. It's like, oh, I want to listen to this playlist, but I want to listen to, Kickstart My Heart and,
Yeah.
whatever, a few
Right.
other things first.
Right.
But what about you? Are you a random guy? Or are you
I don't usually listen to albums on Spotify.
Okay.
Like if I feel like if I'm an album guy, maybe like on a road trip where it's like let's jam out to some like, some Rascal Flatts Life as a Highway.
Okay.
I mean,
like
I'm
it.
joking, but
No.
I rarely listen to albums like start to finish.
Okay.
So it's usually like I'm usually strictly a shuffle guy.
Okay. Yeah, I have most of my playlists, I don't want to say most, but my artists' playlists are put together by their albums. So I'll go
Okay.
through and add them. I like to do it chronologically. So, for bands like Foo Fighters, I'll start in like the 90s, or for Van
Right.
Halen, I'll go back through and start with Van Halen 1 and go all the way through their most whatever recent album. I don't know all of them.
Yep.
But yeah, that's kind of how I listen
Nice.
to.
Yeah, no, I was just curious, and it was like everyone and their mother was posting about it, so I had to ask.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's, now that you say it, it's crazy how you and I are, similar enough, but we obviously have lots of differences. But how we listen to music completely differently.
Yeah.
Like we consume this grand product that is music, and we do it in our completely unique ways, and there's different reasons why, and neither one is correct, neither one is incorrect. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's
if you think
crazy.
about how much, I mean, if you said like over 30,000 minutes, I mean, that's 500 hours
It's insane.
of music, right? So I mean, that's absolutely
a
insane.
lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
So I mean, we spent a lot of time. I mean, that's 3 weeks of music. I mean, just 20.8 days, 21 days of music. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was just under that. I think I was 7,000 or something. So a lot of time, and it could be, it's the beauty of music. You consume it in a variety of different ways.
Yep.
Anyways,
no, I will say also too, probably at least a third of that came super passively, probably more than a third of it came
for sure,
passively
background.
when I was and when I was working outside.
Yeah, no
100%.
doubt.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we can move on. That was a lot of year in review.
So I have something I want to complain about real quick.
So complaints. Let's hear
it. If you look at my phone,
is that a picture of the moon?
It is. It's a picture of the moon.
You should see the moon outside my window. It's beautiful.
We already talked about this. I can't see the fucking moon right now. I can see it right here.
It's called the callback.
Yeah. So look, you can see the moon. So I think I found this picture on Imager, and I was just fucking scrolling through, and it's just a super high resolution photo. So I saved it, and I was like, that's a beautiful photo. So now it's my background. It's been my background for like 2 years. Probably.
And that's what you're complaining about?
No, I'm complaining about the phone itself. This phone sucks. This phone, and it's my problem. Because
you have the thumb scanner on your iPhone still.
Yeah.
That's on you, buddy.
I love it. And the thing is, I don't want it to go away because it's so, can you do this? Can you do this? Look,
do what?
I'm going to unlock my phone without looking at it.
Yeah, I can with this stupid fucking work phone I have, and I hate it.
Oh, well, you got a button, like a protective thing over it. So you can't, does it work? It doesn't work through the button.
It used to, and not anymore. It doesn't anymore.
Really? Oh, interesting.
I hate this phone.
Anyway,
this phone, face scanner, although creepy, is very
How does
nice.
it work? How does it work with your mask on?
Well, it doesn't.
There you go. Hillary just got a new phone, and I think she really likes it. She needed it almost more than I do. But so it sucks because it's slow. I will wake up in the morning at 100%, and by 9 o'clock, it'll be almost dead.
Terrible.
Especially on like a Saturday. During the week, it's not as bad because I'm not using it unless I'm listening to music. It sucks. I hate it, but I don't want to buy a new one because I'm kind of cheap ass. Yeah. But my rationale for why I should buy it is a point that Nate has made. Every time I complain about my phone, he brings this up, and I'm like, stop making a point. I'm just trying to complain about how I'm being an idiot.
Yeah.
What he says is, this is how he approaches this phone. He says, my phone is the computer that I use most frequently and the only computer I use every day.
Yeah. That's factual. Yeah. And if it's
it's like you don't need to upgrade it every year, but this is an iPhone 6S. 6S. I got this in 2014, 15,
That's yeah. I mean,
2015, when it was already an old model.
right.
So my complaint is that I don't want to buy a new one. Yet here I am, probably going to buy a new one.
That's your
pretty soon.
complaint. You don't want to buy a new one.
Yeah.
I mean, are you complaining? The better complaint would be like, oh, Apple specifically slowed down my phone for no reason.
I'm pretty sure that they already like had, there's a
Lawsuit going on right now, isn't there? Like they had a huge payout. It's like a shitload of money. Yeah.
I didn't collect.
Where's our fucking stipend of that?
I don't know. Well, we should be getting that Facebook one, right?
I think so.
Pretty nice. Hey, I could use that.
Hey, ongoing investigation, Michael. I'm not sure we can talk about it.
What?
I mean,
you read that? You read the terms and conditions?
I read the fine print. Did you ever see that episode? I never watched South Park. Did you ever see that episode where like if they didn't read the fine print and then they ended up like being like a part of like the human centipede in South Park because they didn't read the fine print about like the Apple agreeing to terms and conditions?
No, but it sounds familiar.
It was like, oh, you didn't read the fine print? They're like, no, I didn't read the fine print. Who reads the fine print? They're like, everyone reads the fine print. If you don't know what you're agreeing to, don't agree to it. And then like Kenny forgot to like read the terms and conditions, and he ended up agreeing to like Apple's like human centipede project.
Oh man, you signed.
You said okay.
Yeah,
you clicked the agree to terms and conditions. But
oh man,
yeah, that is bullshit how they do that. But yeah, it might be time for a new phone, buddy.
I know, but it's like, ugh. And like, I was talking to Hillary about it, and I was like, I might get one before the holidays. And she made another good point. She's like, why wait? Buy it now, and then you can use it for. It's not going to get cheaper.
The model's only aging as you wait. So.
Exactly. Oh, I hate it. But God, it's
or
sucked into this consumerism.
Christmas gift to yourself.
Yeah, but I love getting Christmas gifts early, so I would buy it today. But the thing is, if I could go to an Apple store and buy it, the one in Jordan Creek,
right,
I might do it. But the fact that I have to order it online and then wait is like,
are they not
maybe
open?
I can just wait. No, they've been closed. I think all their stores have been closed throughout.
Got it.
Started. But yeah, I think if I could go and buy it there, then I might.
Can you go to like Verizon?
See, that's the thing. I have Google Fi as my carrier, so I can't go to one of those stores. Also, you know what's bullshit? The phone is $30 cheaper at AT&T than it is everywhere else.
Yeah,
that's bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously have some kind of preferment.
Yeah, but it's just, which is ridiculous, I think.
Ridiculous. I mean, the thing that's ridiculous is how much they charge for a fucking hunk of plastic.
Yeah, it's like $800.
It's crazy town.
Oh my god. Fucking
but
sucks.
anyways, yeah, phones are expensive as fuck. But they are many computers that use every single day.
I know.
That I use way too much. It controls my life in many aspects, unfortunately.
I know. I hate nothing worse than, especially in COVID, you get that weekly report. Oh, your phone usage was up
it's the worst.
This amount of percent.
Yeah.
I think after Thanksgiving, so the one that came on Sunday said I was up like 48% to like 8 hours and 15 minutes a day.
Which is bullshit. There's no way I'm on my phone that much.
No, but
how does it count that, by the way? Is it like when you're like staring at it, or is it just like when it's like?
It might just be when it's up and running. Like
if
it's not like
it's
this.
Not idle.
You know, it's not idle.
Black
this
screen.
Isn't. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. But also, I've been playing a lot of chess, so I've been staring at my phone a lot.
Queen's Gambit was fucking awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Have you watched The Undoing? It's on HBO.
I have not. What is that? Give me a synopsis. Sell me on it.
Synopsis is
without ruining it.
There is a family who lives in New York City, a well-off family, and
in the Hamptons.
No, in New York City.
Poor people, not even in the Hamptons.
Okay, well, you watch the show and tell me they're poor.
I've never been to New York City, so I wouldn't know, obviously. But
New York City's beautiful. We were supposed to be there last year, and maybe we'll be there later.
That's not Chicago.
No, it's not. I do love New York, though. I'm a huge fan. I got into not an argument.
Fight?
What?
You got into a fight in New York City?
No, an argument. We were talking. I think it was in the Cubs group me. We were talking about if you'd rather move to Arlington, Texas, or New York City. And I've never been to Arlington, and they were saying Arlington is Dallas, which is fair.
It's not though.
But it's not. It's not. You have to live in Arlington.
It's just not. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like saying
it's like saying Naperville, Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Or like, you got to go live in Milwaukee. Ugh,
yeah,
gross.
or Milwaukee. It's probably better.
Kidding.
Yeah.
I know. I have no issue with Milwaukee either, except for the Brewers. But anyway, I said New York, but I love New York, and they were like, "No, Arlington, 100%." I was like, I don't know about that.
I'm not even sure if I was a part of that. That doesn't even ring a bell to me.
I think it was in the Cubs group me. It might have been in a different one.
Yeah, that doesn't ring. I mean, it's possible I missed it. Sometimes when it's like 100 messages, I don't read through them. But
yeah, not good. Anyway, I would say New York 10 times out of 10, but I'm going to Dallas next year. So they said you could swap in Dallas for Arlington. So I'll have to tell them. I'll tell them
what
that
are you
I'd
going
still
to
prefer
Dallas
New York.
for?
We have a wedding
Oh, nice.
in like October, I think.
I was
So
gonna say,
hopefully we'll be fine.
yeah, that'd be fun. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Knock
we'll
on wood.
see. Yeah. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I don't really want to say anything because it will
Okay,
just
I'll
give it
watch
away.
it.
Just
I'll
watch
watch
the
it, and then
trailer.
when I watch it, we can have a recap or something.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
But I would recommend it. Queen's Gambit and The Undoing, two of the better shows that I've watched in a long time. I really like the way that TV is taking on they're taking on like the British style of television, just in terms of having shorts. They have like a show that's 6, 8, or 10 episodes long, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's been common in the UK for a long time.
I mean, especially for our short ass attention spans.
I know, seriously, and it's like you can build up and break down. It's easy, but really love those two shows, and then also really enjoyed the show Godless. Earlier, and I watched that like 2 years ago, maybe. I think it's on HBO. Also, really recommend that one. That one was very, very good. I liked it. The synopsis of that show is not synopsis. What it's about. The plot, yeah. Without giving anything away.
Nailed it.
There is a town. It's Wild West, so it takes place in like the 1800s ish, and there is a town where like 95% of the men were killed in a mining accident. So the town is almost all women.
How many people? Like, is it a small little town? Obviously, if it's
it's a small town. I mean, a couple hundred people.
What's it called?
Godless.
Godless.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Jeff
there like a Shia
Daniels,
LaBeouf movie called like Lawless?
Lawless. I love that movie. Shia
Also
LaBeouf
very
and
good.
Tom
Underrated.
Hardy.
Tom Hardy, I think, in that.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. Hillary would make fun of me. She makes fun of me. His character in that show is the reason why I decided to buy a cardigan, because he pulled it off so well. And I was like, that looks so comfortable.
He's also just fucking cool as shit.
He's badass. Okay, so now I got another question. If you had to pick one actor to play you in a movie about your life,
would it be like, counter question, would it be like somebody that I want to like actually somewhat look like me, or is it like just somebody you think's fucking awesome?
It would have to be someone who could pass off as you. They don't have to be like, you don't have to stand next to them.
Now I can't say,
it's the same.
Now I can't say somebody like super good looking. So I'm like, oh, Michael's a fucking
well, I'm gonna say Tom Hardy because he's a badass.
I got like a man crush on Matthew McConaughey, so
for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Tall, slim. All right.
Yeah. Well, except he's a Texas. He's a Big 12 guy too. He's a Texas guy.
He could pull off an Iowa State fanhood,
even though Iowa State just shit on Texas.
Yeah, they're one win away from taking the Big 12 regular season title, aren't they?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Knock on wood. Has the Big 12 played a full slate of games? I honestly don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't think 10. So, but
we'll have 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Better than the shitstorm that the Big 10's in.
Right. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we all need show recommendations now. So you, read them off again. Those three, obviously, with Queen's Gambit.
So Queen's Gambit, The Undoing, and Godless.
Okay.
Yep.
I know my mom's. If anyone who's listening to this podcast, I know my mom will at least take that advice to heart. She's always asking me, "What should we watch? What should we watch?" We just watched Queen's Gambit. Now what else do we watch? So,
yeah,
I'm sure that my mom and dad will probably watch those.
Yeah, I think that I liked Queen's Gambit a touch more than The Undoing. But they were very different shows.
Right.
The Undoing has Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman.
Oh, okay.
And then there were a few other people that I recognized in the show.
Sure.
But those were the main characters. But yeah, I would very much recommend it.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Not to switch gears, but I do have
go ahead.
A couple of questions.
I'm here for them.
One is like a a quick would you rather for the holidays. We have Christmas and everything coming up, Christmas, Hanukkah, all holidays.
And we'll have more, as they continue to come up too. But I'm interested.
So do you want would you rather for the holidays, or we can save that for another time, or we can do it later?
Do it now, and we can do another one later too.
Okay, and then I have another one that's kind of like an Ask Reddit kind of pick one or the other. Which one do you want first? Would you rather or like the Ask Reddit type?
Okay.
which one do you want? Pick one. Choose your adventure.
Okay. This is
Okay.
the would you rather.
Michael is flipping a coin.
This is the other one.
Okay.
Okay. It's the other one. Not
Okay,
the would you rather.
Okay.
That was so stupid.
So not would you rather the other one. Okay.
Yeah.
So the
That's
question
great.
is, Michael, in a cage style death match,
Uh-oh.
no weapons, no nothing. Just
Okay. Just my bare fists.
well,
bare hands.
you wouldn't be in this because you wouldn't survive.
Oh. Okay.
But the question is, between a grizzly bear, so we're not talking average size, we're talking the largest grizzly bear on the face of the earth,
Okay.
versus the world's largest silverback gorilla. Who would win in a cage match?
I would
Fight to the death, and I want explanations. So before you
Okay.
answer, let me give you some let me give you like Mike Tyson is however tall and weighs this much and whatever weight in it this.
Oh, okay.
So the Kodiak brown bear, which is like the largest of the grizzly bear species,
oh, okay.
is like it's not specifically to like Western Alaska, the Kodiak brown bear, and Kodiak Island. They can get up to be 11
very
feet
spooky.
tall when they stand on their hind legs and weigh 1,300 pounds.
Okay. It's a cool baker's dozen, 100.
Yep. Or like the largest silverback gorilla, it can be obviously they more regularly stand up on their hind legs, 6 feet tall, and weigh up to just shy of 600 pounds. So I ask you.
So the largest silverback versus the largest bear.
Yep. Do you think who would win and why?
Okay. So can I tell you what I was thinking initially when I was thinking that they'd be a little bit more evenly weighed?
And no, the gorilla cannot pick up a gun and shoot the.
Oh no!
Just because
this is real. Yeah, just because that has opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to say gorilla because I think that the gorilla has superior intelligence than the bear. I also think that the gorilla can pack a punch. So if they were in the same weight class, I would take the gorilla. And also the gorilla's got monster chompers too that he could use against the bear.
Correct.
But given that the bear is literally twice the size as the gorilla, I'm gonna take the bear in this situation.
Yep.
So I'm giving the advantage to the bear because of the size. I think that the gorilla is gonna is gonna hurt it badly. I think that I'm picturing just like Duke's up.
Yeah.
Just fucking
I'm
knock
picturing
him in the face.
the Notre Dame fighting Irishman,
exactly.
Put him up.
Exactly. But so for that reason, I'm taking the bear based on the size. I think the bear's going to take a beating, but I think that a bear swinging its 200-pound paws at a gorilla, charging at the gorilla. But now I think about it too, silverbacks, maybe lowest man wins, right?
Yeah, low man wins in football.
Yeah, I mean,
but when you think about a lineman, also runs over a running back.
Yeah, unless that running back is Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like when you're twice the size, I'm thinking like a Jadeveon Clowney versus Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, I know. But also think about this too. If a bear is standing on its hind legs, a bear on its hind legs against a gorilla on its hind legs, I take the gorilla. Because the bear, when it stands up, is just kind of standing. It's exposed. It doesn't have as much power. I think the bear gets the power when it can charge and jump. And that's why I'm actually going to take the bear. Because, maybe when the bear's on its hind legs, it's 11 feet tall. When it's on its fore, it's probably still 4 to 5 to 6 feet tall. Maybe not 6 feet, but maybe 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And that's just going to charge. And that's just pure speed. And it's going to knock the gorilla silly. Okay. But it's a cage match. Shit.
Yeah.
It can't come to full speed.
Yeah, a typical octagon.
Oh, typical octagon.
Yep.
That's not that big.
Okay, well maybe we'll double it up then. For we'll scale it to the size of the animal. But it's not like you can get 100 meter head start.
Okay.
They're not fighting in the wilderness.
Yeah, I think I take the bear. But I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I think the bear is the right answer just because they have huge claws. I mean, the biggest thing that the gorilla has going for it is its intellect. But when you're in a cage match, if he doesn't have a log to pick up and swing at him, or I don't know, stuff to throw in the grizzly bear's eyes, I just think with this huge claws, they're literally I don't know, 8-inch claws, literally just knife the gorilla, and it's just so much fucking bigger. So maybe the better question is, what size, the world's largest silverback, what size brown bear, grizzly bear, could it take down? Is it a 2-year-old grizzly bear that weighs
Well, I don't know.
600 pounds? If they weighed the same, who do you take? Maybe that's a
If they
better
weigh the
question.
same, if they weigh the same, I think I'd take the gorilla.
I think
Because
so too, probably.
I think a lot of the bear's advantages comes from its size. Now I
Yeah.
just Googled this.
There's a
Okay,
lot of information out there versus grizzly
I know.
versus
So this
versus
says
gorilla.
I said who wins in a fight, grizzly, and it said grizzly bear or gorilla.
There's like YouTube videos on it breaking
Yeah.
it down.
This says being close to the bear means close to the mouthful of gnashing teeth and at least 5 claws ready to tear the gorilla apart with one swipe. Yikes. With the bear's massive body, superior muscle, surprising speed, and evolutionary armory, there really isn't any way a gorilla wins this fight. Every attempt it makes would be thwarted by at least one of these factors. Don't doubt the underdog.
You know what?
The gorilla would be at like plus 850 on this fight.
Yeah, it'd be a major underdog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever put yourself in a situation if you're watching like Discovery Channel or something and you're watching a nature show, like all of a sudden you're like hiking and you get, and it's like the other day, like it was probably a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, when that hiker, like that runner, was up for a trail run like in Colorado or something.
Yeah.
And that mountain lion like came
took down
down
the
and was like
mountain lion?
stalking him for like 10 minutes.
I feel like that was like a year ago.
There was another one recently though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like probably like a month ago or something. But you ever think if you're in this situation, like if a bear started charging you, your first instinct, which is wrong, would be like, oh, let me climb a tree. And have you ever seen a bear climb a tree? So fucking
They're
fast.
fast. They're faster than I run.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's literally
like a squirrel.
It's like a squirrel and a cat. Like how the fuck does that happen?
If a bear charged at me,
how would you get away? Would you ring around the rosy forever, like run around the base of a tree? I heard that works.
Really?
I've heard one guy did it for like an hour or something like that, and finally got bored and left him away.
Really? So you just gotta act crazy. You gotta act like you're a psychopath.
Bear got dizzy and had to go puke, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta act like you're rabid.
Yeah.
The bear's like, I don't want that rabid human.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get rabies.
Yeah. No.
Little do they know, Michael Scott founded the cure.
Founded the cure. He founded, whatever.
I
know what you meant.
Funded
the cure to rabies.
Even though there already was one.
I know. Oh my God. When Halpert says that, when he's like, oh, how do you feel about raising money to fight a disease that's already been cured?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking stupid. I love it though. No, if a bear was attacking me in the woods, I know depending on the bear, you're supposed to do different things. Like make yourself bigger or make yourself known or like, I don't know, make some noise. But I think with a grizzly bear, I think they just say,
oh, I think it's like, oh, ringing the dinner bell.
You're fucked. Yeah, exactly. I think you're just supposed to like, probably stay quiet and I don't know. Would you get in a ball? You die. It would destroy you.
Yeah. Would you rather be like on a trail run and see a grizzly bear, maybe let's say 100 yards away, or be snorkeling and see a great white 50 yards away?
Grizzly bear, because there's zero chance that I would be able to evade.
But the boat is equal distance between. So the boat is behind you 50 yards. The shark is 50 yards ahead of you.
The shark is way more than twice as fast as I am.
Well, definitely. There's no question.
No question.
I'm not factoring that in. I'm just saying that you could keep eyes on the shark and get to safety. Let's say you're 100 yards from the grizzly bear and a mile from the nearest shack to whatever or shelter.
Okay, so I'm still not gonna outrun that grizzly bear, but I have I think I have a much better ability to remain unnoticed by the grizzly bear 100 yards away than I would be to remain unnoticed by the shark.
Okay.
That's my thought.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you're being unnoticed either in either situation. I think it decides if they want to eat you or not. And if they do, then you're basically like, oh, that thing's in my territory. Let me go take a munch on his fucking legs.
Exactly. Also, with a shark and being in like open water, there's a chance that he could come up, nibble on me a little bit, and let me go.
Well, I mean, if he nibbles you, you're still in life. Your legs off, but
exactly. So my legs off, and then I might drown. Whereas if a bear comes up and nibbles on my leg, at least I'm not going to drown. Except in my own tears, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I also think that like sharks usually don't like. It's almost always mistaken identity.
Yeah.
So it's
we
like
kill way more sharks than sharks.
If it's not cloudy and you can see it, and you know it's there, you're probably safe. With the grizzly bear, I feel like if it sees you and it's like, oh, like he's in my area, I'm gonna go fuck that thing up. And it might not just be because it's not mistaken identity. It's like that thing's in my territory. Let's go shoo
Time to
him
go kill
off
it.
or gnaw on his arm for lunch.
Exactly. Could you imagine if you got attacked by a bear and it just like slowly just gnawed on your arm?
I mean, I'd rather not imagine that. It sounds terrible.
Right. But okay. So would you rather?
But I do imagine
Okay.
that kind of stuff all the time. So I mean, I'm being
So
hypocritical.
imagine like when you're finishing off eating a chicken wing, and you're just kind of
Yeah,
like
you're
picking
gnawing
at
like on the
legs.
cartilage.
Yeah, just kind of picking at it. What if
Yeah.
a bear came up to you and was just like gnawing on your arm?
Yeah.
Not breaking your arm, not doing anything like that, but just like
Kind of like has like a dog does, like your pet dog does.
yeah.
Where it's like, come on, I want to play, and it starts
Yeah.
kind of like play biting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that happens too often in the animal kingdom.
I
But
don't think so. I don't think so either.
anyways,
you never know.
That got off sidetrack, but I did think I always find that question interesting and kind of see what people say. I'm always surprised when people say gorilla because like, oh, it could pick up. This guy's opposable thumbs. It's like, yeah, well, the bear's got 600 pounds on it and it's got razors for fingers.
Exactly. No, we did say something accidentally, and I thought of something else.
Okay.
And it wasn't until recently that this phrase clicked with me.
Yep.
From baker's dozen, you said 1,300 pounds. I said a baker's dozen pounds.
Yeah.
I think the reason why a baker's dozen is 13 is because the baker always bakes an extra in case one of the things that he or she bakes doesn't come out as good.
Oh, or is the extra one for them?
Could be both.
Quality control.
My baker's dozen would be like 20, and then I would just get extra. I used to do that when I worked at Graham's. I would make extra of shakes, and then
mess one up on accident, or like, oh, wait, a little bit extra.
Yeah, or not even like sorry, I wouldn't mess it up, but I would just make more than I knew would fit.
Yeah, right. Have leftovers on accident.
Yeah, and be like
on accident, quote unquote accident.
Yeah, never an accident. Always on purpose. Got pretty fat when I worked there. That's not true, but I would now.
It was bulking season.
Yeah, it's always bulking season, isn't it?
I mean, let's be honest. Thanksgiving through New Year's is bulking season.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question. How are you going to treat yourself for the holidays?
Ooh, good question. I am taking some time off over Christmas, basically through my birthday's on January 2nd.
Yeah,
taking some time off, like in between there. Actually going to go out to California for a couple of days with some friends. Actually, Brian and Craig and a few other of our friends in the city. Going to go out to San Diego, have some friends.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
nice.
Go to San Diego, kind of sit on the beach, relax a little bit, recharge the batteries. So
that'll be fun.
Looking forward to that. Besides that, not a whole lot. I mean, I took a week off. I took 3 days off for Thanksgiving, see family and whatnot. But yeah, probably just take some time off. Nothing super crazy. Don't have anything like I'm going to buy myself. Nothing I need or anything. Just probably a new pair of running shoes in a month or two. But yeah, nothing crazy. How about, do you guys have any big plans for the holidays, you and Hillary?
No, we're supposed to go to Lincoln. COVID depending, obviously, if we have COVID or exposed, or her family has or is exposed, then we won't go.
Did you go to Lincoln for Thanksgiving?
No, we stayed in Des Moines for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But one thing that I'm going to try to do, which I never do, is try to just maintain over the holidays and not just eat and drink like a POS like I did on Thanksgiving. I wasn't too bad this year. Where'd that go? I wasn't too bad this year for Thanksgiving, but definitely fell off the wagon a little bit. So I'm just going to try to, eat comfortably and drink comfortably, but also try to run and stretch and do some other exercises so I don't just feel like a piece of crap.
What kind of other exercises, like
do some
12-ounce curls, or like
do some just more stretching type stuff? 12-ounce curls. Yeah, I didn't feed into your joke. Yeah, 12-ounce curls. That sounds good.
Got it. Nice. Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, no, it'll be good.
Cool.
So I think you had another.
Yes, I think I might save it for next episode because we already kind of are at the hour mark.
Okay.
And I think it's a good question, kind of leading up to the holidays and after, if it's after too.
Man, you are just leaving me. You're leaving. This is what you
call
a
teaser.
Classic cliffhanger.
It's a teaser.
Yeah. Teaser, not a cliffhanger.
Leave him coming back for more, Michael.
I love it. All right. Anything else you got?
No, nothing else. Go listen to Jude and the Lion. Go listen to the Mowgli's. In the past, we've had our song of the week. I have not picked one, but just go listen to those two bands in general. If you like folk pop music, I think you'll really enjoy them.
Perfect.
Cool.
All
right. Adios, everyone. Talk to you later.
Bye. Nice. All done. Stop recording. Stop that. So yeah, I'm thinking we can set a calendar or a schedule, and we can either have try to stick to it in terms of like recording, like we record every Wednesday or Thursday, schedule pending, and then we
Yep.
release like Friday, or we release the following Monday, or I don't know. I know we used to release Thursday mornings, but